Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raising your hands up. Reverse. Stretch up. Press your feet down. And just sway from side to side. And then turn to the side. Come to the center. And turn to the other side. And come to the center. Hands onto your waist. Turn your head to the left shoulder. Come to the center and turn your head to the right shoulder. Back to the center, and once more, either side. Breathing out, turn to the left. Come to the center as you breathe in, and then breathing out again, turn to look over your right shoulder. And come to the center. Drop your hands and lift and roll your shoulders again. Stand with your feet hip width apart, and we'll come to this perennial or feel good swinging from side to side. So this moves all your energies, and to link that to health, it's the stagnation of energy or the lack of movement that can be problematic in creating illness or manifesting as disease. So if you're moving from side to side, there is less opportunity for the energies to accumulate. And in Ayurveda medicine, they talk about accumulation as being part of the cause of disease. And in Ayurveda as well, they talk about 6 stages of accumulation before anything ever manifests as an issue, which I always find quite fascinating. So Western doctors pick everything up at level 6, but there are little telltale signs before that. And we're really just letting ourselves swing from side to side. And then just start to slow the swing down. And then come to the center. Come to, if you've had your feet apart, to your feet now comfortably hip width apart. Bring your hands to your heart center. Breathing in, hands up, touch palms. Breathe out, bring your palms through the center as you bend your knees. And either touch the floor with your fingers or touch your shins. As you breathe in, slightly lengthen your legs and lengthen along your tailbone, from the bottom of the tailbone right up to the top of the head. Breathe out, soften your knees and soften your elbows. And breathe in, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. You can use your fingers to trace up the front if that works for you. And then breathing in, hands up. And breathing out, hands down. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your hands together. Inhale, circle your hands up, touch your palms. Really stretch up. And then breathing out, bring your hands through your center as you roll down again, touching your fingertips either to the floor or onto your shins. Breathing in, lengthen along your spine. Straighten your legs a little bit. Breathe out, bend in, soften your knees. And breathe in, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up and lower. And one more time, breathing out, hands to the heart center. Hands up to touch, palms together. Come through the center. Bend your knees. Roll down, touching your fingers. Breathing in, lengthen your spine.
Breathe out, soften your knees, press your feet into the ground as you then, breathing in, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
And lower your hands. I'm going to take my right hand, but take one hand and place the thumb in the centre of the palm of the other hand. And then just open and close your left hand, in my case, over your thumb a few times. And release. Just circle your wrist a couple of times in one direction and a couple of times in the other direction. And then take the thumb of in my case, the left hand, to press into the centre. And then just fold your hand over a couple of times. And release. Circle your wrists in one direction and then circle in the other direction. Take your right hand and just rub the backs of your wrists just above the wrist. You can use your thumb underneath just to massage that area there. And then swap hands, using your left hand just to rub across the wrist. And then if you just go below your elbow, that goes into the thoracic area of the body, or the spine. Just rub either side, and then just rub either side. Release and lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, turn your head once more to the left. Breathing out, turn your head to the right. In to the left and out to the right. Bring your head back to centre. Lift and roll your left shoulder and set it back. Lift and roll your right shoulder and set it back. Left and right. And left and right. And then this familiar one, as you breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, arms behind you. Breathe in, cross your arms. Remember which arm comes on top. And breathe out behind. In as you breathe in, and arms go up. Breathe out, cross the other arm and back. In, out, cross, back. In, out, cross, back. In, out, cross. In, out, cross. And last time, in, out, cross, and in, out, cross. Just swing your arms forwards and backwards. Bring your hands to the centre of your heart. Press your palms together. And we're going to come down to kneeling in extended child's pose. If that's not great for your knees, don't bring your bottom down towards your heels, and you can use a support or a blanket or a cushion underneath you. So come to start by coming into child's pose. Knees are wide. If that's not great for your knees, then don't bring your bottom back, just keep it high and stretch your hands out in front of you. Your elbows can be on the ground, and you're just taking a couple of breaths here. Even here, you can practice engaging your perineum slightly and tummy or lower abdomen in as you breathe out. But that's an option. And then slowly move your hands back to come up to tabletop position. So knees are hip width apart and hands are shoulder width apart. So breathing in, classic cat, dip your back, look either up or along the mat, depending on your neck capacity. Breathe out,
round, chin comes to chest. Breathing in, cat, and breathing out, cow. Breathing in, cat, and breathing out, cow. Breathing in, cat, breathing out, cow. Come to your back being neutral. You can adjust your hands and feet at any point. And slide your left knee fractionally forward, your right foot back, tuck your right toes under and lift your right leg. Your toes are still connected to the ground. Stretch your right leg back. And now take your right toes and cross your right foot over your left foot. And now optionally you can look over your left shoulder so that you can see your right toes. So this becomes a twist and a stretch. Come back to the centre with your face to centre. Uncross your feet and come back to tabletop. Just wave your bottom from side to side. And now slightly move your right knee forward, stretching your left toes back, tucking your left toes under and lifting your left leg to stretch it back. Cross your left foot over your right and optionally turn to look over your right shoulder to the left toes. And then gently coming back to the centre. Just move your bottom from side to side. And then gently move your hands to the left. That gives space for your right foot to come up. Hands either side of your right foot. And then slightly engage your lower abdomen in and your perineum in to support you as you walk your hands up your right leg. Lift and roll your shoulders and then raise your hands up. Stretch your fingers. This time we're going to look ahead just to maintain our balance. Take a breath here in and out. Then lower your hands, open the palms upwards, which opens up at the shoulder level here, which connects into the lung meridians. And then tummy in as you breathe out. Coming forward, hands either side of your front right foot. Keep your left hand where it is and place, you can come up onto your fingertips, place your right hand into your right hip crease. And just open out to the side, turning to the right. You can slightly move your right foot out towards the edge of the mat if that gives you more balance to let you open out more. And you can stay here. If you want to take it one stage further, you can raise your right hand. And breathing out, lower your right hand. Move your right foot back if you've moved it out to the side. And slide your right foot back so as you come back to tabletop. And then just very gently move from side to side. And then move your hands to the right, giving space for your left foot to come up. Hands either side of your left foot. And then just walk your hands up your left knee, allow your left shin. You can move your left foot out to the side. Come upright and then breathing in, stretch your hands up. So modified warrior one. Look ahead so that you keep your balance, stretch your fingers. And then breathing out, lower your hands, open your palms up. breathing out. Come forward and place your hands either side of your front left foot. Take your left hand to place it into the left crease, your left hip crease, and open out to the left. You can stay here, but if you want to include an upward arm raise, then please do. There is one further thing that you can do in this pose, which is trickier. Tuck your right toes underneath and lifting up your right leg. That's harder still, optional. And then breathing out, lower your right knee down to the ground. Left hand comes down to the ground. Slide your left foot back. Just gently sway your hips from side to side. And then very gently come to tuck your toes and come into a very soft downward dog. Keep your knees bent, your bottom goes upwards so that you're stretching your back, and then you can start to straighten your legs. You can move your feet to hip width distance apart or wider, soften your knees, and just walk the dog, bending one knee, straightening that leg, and then bending the other knee. And then very gently walk your feet one at a time up towards the top of your mat. Keep your knees bent, you can walk your hands back. Just soften your knees and ragdoll over your bent knees for a moment. And then very gently press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders. Have your feet hip width apart. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Inhale, hands up, stretch up. You can look up optionally this time. Breathing out, lower your hands, bending your knees to the earth. Step your right foot back, stay high, keep it high, but you can always drop your knees to the ground if you need to. Step your left foot back, stay high, you're in plank. Now drop both your knees. Uncurl your toes and come forward into up dog. So your tailbone drops and you're lifting your chest. You can look ahead or up. Bend your elbows and come to lying on the ground. Stretch your hands out in front of you. And just tap your tops of your feet on the mat, just to wake up the tops of the feet. And then slide your hands back to Sphinx, elbows on the ground. Press your elbows into the ground and pull yourself forward a millimetre. This will create space at the lower abdominal level, and then just release and relax. Looking down at the floor, the back of the neck is long. And then touch your forehead to the ground as you slide your hands back a little bit further. Elbows are aiming inwards towards you as you press your hands down and come back to kneeling. And then tuck your toes, slide your hands back even further, and then come into a soft downward dog again. And once more, walk your feet to your hands to your feet. And this time, soften your knees and take your left hand to your right shin or even your right calf and open out to the right with either your hand on your right waist or your hand up. And then gently come back to the centre and then turn to the other side so that you're turning to the left. Your right hand is on your left calf or shin. Your left hand is on your left waist, opening out to the left. And then either you can lift your hand up
release, come back to the centre, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
And breathing in, raise your hands up, hold your thumbs, and then just sway from side to side. Swaying palm tree. So this swaying palm tree is very good for, believe it or not, the Vata dosha, so pain relieving. And then come to the centre and lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. Place your hands on your waist, feet hip width apart. Breathe out, bend forward, and when you have expelled all the breath, hold the breath out. When you can't hold it any longer, then press your feet down into the earth. Release that exhalation, hold, and breathe in as you come up. Next time, just adjust your feet if you need to. Breathe out, come forward, breathing out the air, tummy comes in, perineum goes up. Come forward with no air at all in you. Hold that air out, and as you need to breathe in, just press your feet down, release that hold and breathe in. Very good for clearing stale breath from the lungs and toning your system. And last time, coming forward, breathing out, perineum up, and then inhaling, coming up. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then stepping your feet out in a triangle. Turn your left foot in and your right foot out. Now if you need to take more space to move your right foot to the edge of the mat for your balance, please do. Come into a warrior two. Soften your right knee if you've turned your left foot in. And then bring your left palm to your right palm. Slide your left palm back so that you're drawing a bow. Inhaling, straighten your right leg as you lift up your right arm, look at your right thumb. And then breathe out, coming back to warrior two. Bring your left palm to your right palm. Slide your left palm back, drawing an imaginary bow, just opening your chest. Inhaling, raise your right arm up, look at your thumb. And then open your arms again. And just one last time as you bring your left palm to your right palm. Slide your left arm, elbow back high, drawing your bow. Breathing in, raise your right arm up, look up, open your arms, and then lower your arms. Lift and roll your shoulders, place your hands on your waist, and bring your right toes in, and then you're going to reverse. So right toes in, left toes out. Feel that you can move your left foot to the edge of the mat if you need to do that. Coming into your warrior two, soften your front left knee, and then bringing your right hand to your left, drawing your bow, breathing in, raise your arm, left arm up high, look at your thumb, and then open your arms again. Right palm to left palm, draw your bow, raise your left arm, you can straighten your left leg a little bit, and then out, and then just one more time. Right hand to left palm, slide back to draw your bow, really opening across the chest and the heart, lifting up, you're disconnecting your eyes from the stress centres of the brain, opening out, and then come to lower your arms, bring your left foot the centre, and slide your hands down your shins to come to a forward bend. You can hold your ankles or touch your fingers on the floor for a couple of breaths in and out. And then here, take your left hand to the outside of your right shin to calf, and then open up, either placing your right hand on your waist or raise your right hand up
and looking either behind you or towards the ceiling. And then come back to the centre with your arms and walk your right hand over to your left shin or calf, holding it. As you turn to the left, either placing your hand on your left waist or going further by opening up, lifting your arm high. And then come back to the centre, soften your knees and just bend one knee, left knee, will go slightly to the left, come to the centre, your hands are on the ground, bend the right knee and just move slightly to the right. You're swaying side to side with your hands on the ground and just bending your knees a little bit. You can bend your knees a lot and almost come to squatting, but here we're just going to keep it quite high because it's easier on the knees. And then heel toe your feet in, so turn your big toes in towards one another so that your heels are slightly out. Then bring your heels in towards each other. Then your big toes come inwards towards each other, and then your heels come in. And you're going to close the gap until your feet are comfortably around hip width apart. Soften your knees, and then roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
Lifting and rolling your shoulders. Hands on the waist, and then this is a classic balance. So lifting your heels, find your focus, or they call it drishti, and just stay for a couple of breaths if you're able to. So a balance disconnects your mind again from what might be going on otherwise, so it becomes a mindfulness exercise and a brain balance. I've lost my balance, so come out when you're ready. And then breathing in, raise your hands up, clasp them, reverse them, and do the same thing. Lift your heels up and try your balance with your hands up. And then breathing out, lower your heels and lower your hands back down alongside you. And just circle your ankle, your heels, your wrists one way in one direction, and then circle your wrists in the other direction. And just open your fingers, close them in, and flick them open, and close them in, and flick them open, and close them in, and release your hands. Keeping your head still and imagining a clock, just raise your eyes to the top of your clock, your 12 o'clock. Bring your eyes through the centre to your 6. Come back to the centre and go to 9. Come to the centre and go to 3. And do that again, raising your eyes up, keeping your head still. Come through to 6 o'clock. Come back to centre and go to 9. And then go to the right and go to 3. Just close your eyes just to clear that movement, and then just reopen them again. And then very gently come once more down to the mat, but we're going to come to lying on our backs this time. So feet are hip width apart and knees are up towards the ceiling. And feel that you can press your feet down to lift your bottom and readjust your spine. Back of your neck is long. Your feet are hip width apart, knees to the ceiling. Feel that you could, if you wanted to, almost touch the backs of your heels with your fingers. And then just release and relax. Just do a pelvic tilt a couple of times, so that's flattening your back to the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then releasing. And then this time press your feet down, actually lift your bottom, and then bend your elbows and lift your bent elbows up above you. The backs of the hands can go onto the ground. Chin comes in. Make sure that your knees aren't splaying out, and then breathing out, start to lower your back, and you'll find that your hands will naturally follow. Back down to the earth. And just take a rest as you breathe in and out.
And again, press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom, raise your arms up over you, you can keep your elbows bent, your chin tucks in towards your chest, you're stretching the tops of your thighs, and then breathing out in your own time, start to lower your back down to the ground, your arms will follow naturally, and then hug one knee into the chest and then the other knee into the chest, and rock gently from side to side. Keep the right knee hugged in, and you can use your left hand if you'd like to support your left thigh as you place your left foot on the floor, knee up to the ceiling. So you're hugging your right knee into your chest, and just circle your right knee a couple of times in one direction as you're hugging it in, and then circle your right knee in the other direction a couple of times. Drop your hands to below your right, holding behind your right leg, your right thigh, and extend your right foot upwards. You can still keep your knees soft. And then circle your right ankle a couple of times in one direction. And then circle your ankle another couple of times in the other direction. Spread your feet and relax. And spread your toes and relax. And then very, very gently bend your right knee in towards your chest. Open your right knee to the right and rest your right ankle on top of your left leg. Your hands now can either be resting on your abdomen, elbows out, or resting palms down on the floor. And just gently rock both knees from side to side. And you can stay with this rocking motion, or you can come to the centre. Just engage your perineum, the lower abdomen comes to the spine slightly, lift your left foot off the ground. Take your hands and hold underneath your left thigh. Extend your right heel, and then lift your left knee up towards your face. Your left ankle can be relaxed. So this is opening up the outer right side of your hip. It's a reclined pigeon or figure of four. Take an in and an out breath here. And then very gently support the left leg as you place the left foot onto the ground. You can unravel, taking your right leg off, placing your right foot on the ground. Hands on the abdomen as you just wave your knees from side to side. Your hips will lift slightly. Come to the centre. Make any adjustments you need to with your feet, but keeping your right foot on the ground as you hug your left knee in towards your chest. And just very gently circle your left knee in one direction. And then circle your left knee in the other direction. Supporting your left leg by holding underneath the left thigh, gently extend your left foot up towards the ceiling. You can keep your left knee bent. And start to circle your left ankle a couple of times in one direction. And then circle your left ankle a couple of times in the other direction. And then spread your toes and relax them, and spread your toes and relax them. And then bend your left knee in towards your chest again, and still holding it, open your left knee to the left, resting your left ankle on your right leg. Hands can be on your abdomen as you gently sway both knees from side to side. Your hips lift as you make this movement. Come to the centre with your legs, tummy in, lower abdominal muscles come in slightly, perineum slightly engages. This supports you as you lift off your right foot from the ground, and then take both hands underneath your right leg, clasping them
to bring your reclined pigeon, your figure of four. You extend your left ankle, your right ankle can be relaxed, and to make this more, you can lift up your right knee towards your face. And if you really want to explore further and you've got space, you can hold in front of your right knee. Just check that your chin doesn't shoot up to the ceiling. That means you've gone too far. Or if you have, just lower your chin, or just then comes back to hold it underneath the right thigh. So this is opening out the outer right, the outer left hip area. And then very gently lower your right foot. Unravel your left foot from your right thigh. Come to have your feet really wider than hip width apart towards the edge of the mat. Hands can be either resting on the tummy, or you can stretch out by raising your hands above you, just resting them above your head, holding your wrists, or loosely just clasping, and then just sway your knees from side to side, lifting your hips off the ground. So we're just touching here on something called somatic movement, which is, for our purposes, very anti-aging. Just swaying from side to side. And then come back to the centre, bring your feet more towards hip width apart. And this time slide your hands, clasp them, turn the palms up and slide them to under your head to support your head. Resting your head back on the ground. And just then bring your elbows together like wings, which will stretch the back of your neck. You can stay centrally, like this, slightly lifting your head up. Or you can roll slightly, lifting up your left shoulder to the right. Come back to the centre. And then just roll slightly onto your left shoulder, lifting up the right one, coming over towards the left. I hope this is making sense. Or just stay centre. You're very much stretching the back of the neck while supporting it. And then come to the centre after you've done both sides. And very gently release the head back onto the ground. And once your head's on the ground, you can slide your fingers out from underneath the back of the skull, just supporting it. And just know that when the back of the neck is long, it facilitates the sense of breath going right up into the head. And if you wanted to explore that further, if you smile slightly at the corners of your mouth, you'll feel that sensation even more of the breath going up into the head. And on the ground, the back of your lungs are supported, your back is supported. So as the breath comes in, it almost floods into the back of your body. You can sometimes miss this little bit out. And then just very gently hug right knee and then left knee into the chest. Still holding both knees, let both knees travel away to arm's length. And then breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. Still holding them as you breathe in, let the knees travel to arm's length. And do this a few more times in your own breath pattern as you're pumping your lower back, encouraging circulation as you just slightly press on your lower back, hugging your knees in, and then you just release that hold as your knees go away from you. And then one more time, hugging your knees into your chest. And then place your feet on the floor, hip width apart. Bring your hands, palms down onto the mat and bring them in very close to your bottom.
so that your big thumbs are actually touching the side of your bottom. You can lift your bottom and actually plonk your bottom slightly on top of your thumbs, with your elbows really in close to you. And then hug your knees into your chest. And then just raise your feet up towards the ceiling. You can keep your knees bent. And like an imaginary piece of seaweed, just swaying slightly in the water, just slightly sway your legs from side to side. Come to the centre and just bend your knees into your chest. You can just slide your hands out if you had put them underneath you. And then just slide your hands down your shins, holding either the shins or the ankles, or maybe the big toes, to your inner goddess pose. Just open your legs up into a V. If your hands aren't going to your big toes, your thumbs aren't going to your big toes, just hold your shins or whatever you want to hold on your legs. And if you're here, you can just very gently rock from side to side. And then bend your knees, slide your hands up your shins again, hugging your knees into your chest. And then just gently supporting your legs maybe underneath as you place one foot and then the other back down onto the ground again. And this time just place your hands slightly higher up as your elbows open onto your ribs, your lower ribs. And as you breathe in, we're going to step the breath in. So you breathe in, stop, breathe in again, stop, and breathe in completely, and then let all the breath out. We'll do that a couple of times. So just breathe in and out naturally. And then breathe in, stop, breathe in a bit more, breathe in up to the top, and breathe out all in one go. Through the nose is yogic. You can also breathe through the mouth if you want to. Breathe in a little bit, breathe in a little bit more, breathe in up to the top, and breathe out all in one go. Breathe in a little bit more, breathe in a little bit more, and breathe in totally up to the top, and breathe out all in one go. This time we're going to reverse that. Breathe in all in one go, and then step the breath out, breathing out a little bit more, and then completely. In your own time, breathe in completely, step the breath out a little bit, step the breath out a little bit more, and step the breath out completely. And last time, breathe in completely, step the breath out a little bit, step the breath out a little bit, step the breath out a little bit. And come back to normal breathing, your hands are still on your ribs. It's a way of actually increasing your lung capacity. It's imagine blowing a balloon up from the inside and expanding the balloon as you're stretching your lungs a little bit. And then you can stay either with your hands on your ribs or bring your hands into your, placing on your navel, or one hand on your navel and one hand slightly higher up at the solar plexus level. And just bring your attention now to the nostrils, breathing in through the nostrils to a point in the centre of your head as you imagine that. And as you breathe out, imagine taking with your out breath anything you don't want today, just floating through your body, leading through the soles of your feet, going out into the universe. Come back to focus at the nostrils again as you breathe in to a point in the centre of your head. And then breathing out, let the air swell and cleanse as it goes down all through your body, clearing out physical and emotional baggage that you don't want, that doesn't serve you, out through your feet, out to the edge of your body, the universe and infinity, And then one last time, focus on your nose, your nostrils. Just choose a colour and infuse your choice of colour into your air so that your coloured air goes in to a point in the centre of your head. And then that coloured air takes with it anything you don't want today, just floating through your body. Put into that air any emotion or any pain or any niggle you don't want. Let it float out to the edge of your body, the edge of the world, and to the edge of the universe and to infinity. And then just mentally imagine wrapping yourself in a cocoon of cotton wool of your favourite colour, creating a little cocoon, protecting you for the day ahead, just to only allow positivity to come in. And then you can either stay resting on the floor, or if you want to come to finish the class, then become aware of where you are on the mat, what parts of your body touch the ground. Come to maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, perhaps hug one knee in and then the other knee. And take your time to roll over to the side or come however you want to a seated position. Gently, no sudden movement, to rest your fingers on your knees. Just take a moment to take your chin to your chest, taking a bow for yourself. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. Thank you.